Hey crew, I've got the key to that 22 Ram 1500 TRX, or T-Rex if you want to have more fun. We are going to take it for a drive, but first let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. What a truck. Up front, we have functional ventilation through the Ram grille. There's a functional hood scoop with the 3 marker lights in the middle. This one has the TRX graphics package. There are functional heat extractors on the hood, LED daytime running lights, and adaptive LED headlights, tow hooks, skid plates, well, down there, LED fog lights. The TRX is 8 inches wider than a standard Ram 1500 and 2 inches taller in profile. Standard set of 18-inch wheels, wrapped in Goodyear Wrangler Territory all-terrain tires. There's functional airflow from the outside of the headlight that passes through and exits the flared wheel arch. This TRX is painted in flame red with a two-tone of gloss black down low, just above the optional Ram rock sliders. We also have the optional extended side mirrors with the trailer towing package. Stepping back to look at the profile, the TRX is only offered in Crew Max configuration with the 5.5-foot bed. You can't get 37-inch tires from the factory like you can in the new F-150 Raptor, but they will fit in the wheel arches. The graphics pack gives us TRX stamped on the side of the bed. At the rear, we have LED taillights, non-functional vents here, steel bumpers just like the front, 5-inch outlets for the dual exhaust system, and a full-size spare mounted underneath the bed. The level 2 equipment group gives us a power release tailgate, and it is dampened. Spray and bed liner is here. There are tie-down points and LED bed lights under this optional tonneau cover. You also have a bed step that you push out from here, and you really need that because this is a fair distance from the ground. All told, the TRX looks like nothing else on the road. It commands attention with its visual presence. And now we got to look at that interior. Opening up and looking inside at this black interior with leather pointed seats thanks to the level 2 equipment group. There are gray accents and gray contrast stitching, perforations in the seat. They're heated and ventilated in the second row. Lift this up for some additional storage under here, and this can fold out for more room. You get Ram for the tread plates, all-weather floor mats on the doors. We've got a mix of leather up top with contrast stitching, suede, and then more leather here. Optional carbon fiber in a matte finish, one-touch up-down windows, and the upgraded Harman Kardon 19-speaker sound system. 2 levels of storage on the hard plastic portion down here. To get up and in, I put my toes on the sliders and then grab the leather-pointed grab handle. Up and in at 6 feet tall behind my own seat. I've got loads of legroom. This is suede and leather back here. You've got these MOLLE straps down there, a map pocket, tons of room to slide my feet under. Thigh support is okay. It's a bit lacking at the ends there, but headroom is not. Got plenty of it here. And then there are 2 air vents, more of the matte carbon fiber, 2 cup holders, 4 USB ports, 2A, 2C, an AC outlet here, and then you can see the cutout here so that I can slide into the middle and still have ample legroom and headroom. If you don't have the middle passenger, then you can pull this tab to bring down the seat back for a suede padded armrest, storage inside, and 2 more cup holders. There's a lot to love about the second row in the TRX. Let's check out the front. The door close is a little vibration-y sounding. Up front, we have bucket style seats with additional bolstering. They're heated, they're ventilated. We have suede for the inner portions of the bolsters, TRX onto the seat back, and the cabin is a bit dark and black without a standard sunroof. You can option in a panoramic glass roof if you want. The door panels look just like the second row, except we have power adjusting and power folding door mirrors and these molded foam cup holder spots. Very cool. Yet another leather wrap grab handle makes it easy to get in. We'll put it in accessory mode to trigger on the 7-inch TFT display. That's within 2 analog gauges with 2 additional accessory gauges. There is a head-up display with a technology package and a digital rearview mirror. Leather wrapping with stitching for the dashboard. You got some suede here. That's with the level 2 equipment group. More matte carbon fiber, a slot up here for some stuff, and a DC outlet. There's a 12-inch touchscreen infotainment that is very customizable. It's pretty quick to respond. Occasionally there is some sluggishness, but it does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There is a physical volume knob with a knurled finish, physical tuner, trailer steering system is here, wireless smartphone charging pad, 4 more USB ports on that side, 2A, 2C, perforated leather wrapping for your gear selector. Under the matte carbon fiber, we find 2 cup holders, slot for your key, suede and leather wrapping for the well-padded armrest, TRX plaque up top, 2 levels of storage including a USB port up top, and an AC outlet down low with another Raptor versus TRX Easter egg. Drive modes, transfer case, and launch control settings are here. There's a red start-stop button amidst matte carbon fiber trim that continues on the passenger side, including over this hidden storage cubby. The steering wheel looks very sporty for a half-ton pickup truck. You got these big indents, perforated leather wrapping, suede flat bottom, matte carbon fiber trim, more suede up top. The aluminum paddles also look huge, but in fact, they're wrapped around these cutouts for the media settings. The visibility is quite good, and that back glass also power opens. You get blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic with the level 2 equipment group. This cabin has incredible material quality and features that feel fitting for $92,000 as tested, but now we gotta go see how the TRX drives. All right, let's fire it up. That's not scary at all. Okay, so TRX drive modes. We have a lot of them. They're right here. We've got custom, mud and sand, rock, Baja, sport, tow, snow, is rhyming, and auto. So we're gonna start in auto, just your daily drive mode. Then I'm going to flip on the digital rearview mirror, and then I'm going to pull back the very traditional mechanical selector into reverse. You can hear those parking sensors going. I'm going to back up just a bit so you don't hear them. A few different camera angles to choose from. It only takes up this portion of the screen though, not the whole screen. Wider angle rear, front. You got a bed view, front view, and surround view. Let's scoot on out of here. The steering is very heavy at low speeds. Those meaty tires to overcome. We'll do our turning radius test, which I'm going to give us a wide margin, and cranked. Took up a lot of the very wide lane here. We'll hear what the turn signals sound like now. Just like every other Dodge vehicle. Dodge, Ram, Jeep, Stellantis. There's a woman with a dog, so I'm gonna wait on the world famous horn test. All right, we could do it now. Not as triumphant as the truck's exterior would suggest. It's just a horn. Loud enough, but kind of weak sounding. You know what isn't weak? The Powertrain. 6.2 liter supercharged V8. It makes 702 horsepower, just saying it out loud. 702 and 650 pound-feet of torque. That is routed through an 8-speed automatic to a part-time 4-wheel drive system. You can just hear that supercharger. Can really isolate it, just like in the Charger and Challenger Hellcats. You can really isolate that supercharger whine by playing around with the rev range, playing around with the throttle inputs. Oh, that is very easy to modulate. And yet, even just a little bit of throttle gives you so much power. The 8-speed is just buttery, though. Smoothly working through those gears. Ride quality is quite bouncy. Like, the suspension absorbs the road blemishes and defects and impacts. What is up with all these yellow red lights? As I was saying, the suspension absorbs the impacts, but the rebound, the just up and down undulation after going over a bump is quite a lot. So it makes for a sort of almost like you're on a boat ride quality, like you're just with the waves. But it's still comfortable. The seats feel great, a little on the firm side, but very well supportive, ergonomic. Should we see how quick the TRX gets to 60? I think so. So I've got to make some changes here. We're gonna go into the sport drive mode, and then I'm gonna hit the launch control button. Yes, there's launch control on a half-ton pickup. I'm then gonna pin the throttle, hold it, and let go. .2 seconds to 60 miles per hour. Is not as quick as the Rivian R1T, but it is one of the fastest pickup trucks I've ever driven. Just brutal in the force of acceleration. Zero drama off the line. We were just like squatted down and then rocketed forward. That's quicker than Ram's own estimate of 4.5 seconds. 4.2 seconds! This thing is a monster! And doesn't it sound fantastic? You get that supercharger one, and then it just is sort of enveloped in HEMI V8 theater. Oh, it's so good. It goes like it looks. We could try manual mode too. Move the gear selector over and then use the paddles, which honestly are a little awkward because if you keep your hands at 9 and 3, then you're either using your index fingers or your pinkies. Hear that pop of the upshift? So what I end up doing is either having my hands just a little up on the wheel or a little down. That feels best for engaging the paddles with 2 fingers. This truck, man. This transmission's no joke. These are quick gear changes. The action on the paddles is also very satisfying, if not being quite the shape and placement I would like. Oh, the downshift with that whine. Yeah, this thing's quick. We should do a test of the brakes though, from around 60. That stopping distance was impressive. The feel of the pedal was not. It totally felt like I was pushing on a marshmallow. But the nosedive was also well contained. All right, so like there's a little good, a little bad with the braking. You have to just trust the other senses, not the feel of the pedal. Let's go back into auto mode. The brakes are up to snuff. 15-inch rotors, front and rear, that'll do that. Okay, so I'm gonna say around town, the TRX it's a bit of a handful in that, let's go back to auto. It's a bit of a handful in that, like, it's so wide, it takes up, not this lane, because this is a very wide lane, it takes up most of a normal lane. The steering at low speeds is extremely heavy, so you really have to crank on it. The turning radius is enormous, so you're just gonna have to come in understanding that. If you're used to maneuvering a full-size pickup truck, it's not gonna be that much of a departure for you. The width is something to factor in, but the power you don't really have to worry about in most daily driving environments because the throttle tip-in is not touchy and that transmission is so velvety that it's easy to manipulate. If you're not used to it, it will take some adjustment, quite a bit of it. But we should now see how the Ram TRX does in an environment it was designed for, and by which I mean the dirt. All right, we've lost sight of the pavement, and I've gone ahead and aired down the tires to give us more cushion off-road and to help those Goodyear all-terrains grip in when we get to lower speed stuff. We're also going to change up our drive mode. We'll go to Baja, and that's going to turn off the traction control, and it's also going to put the transmission, the throttle response, and the suspension damping in their more aggressive settings. And we can also show the performance pages here, which is pretty neat. If we were on the road, we'd do the lap timer, the drag race timers and stuff. You can see all your gauges, monitor all the pressures and temperatures, and just see your performance in real time. So with that, let's head on out. Now the TRX is really designed for high-speed off-road running, and we're not in a desert, as you can obviously see, so we won't be doing that kind of aggression, but we can still test out this suspension, and let's talk more about it. So we've got an independent front suspension with upper and lower control arms, and a 5-link rear with coil springs. Add to that the Bilstein Blackhawk E2 remote reservoir shocks with electronic proportioning valves for quick and accurate control of the fluid flow, so you can build up that resistance with that hydraulic fluid to absorb the harsh impacts that you will no doubt encounter off-road. So far of the bumps we've gone over, you can feel the suspension just trying to flatten out the biggest adjustments in the trail surface. And the chatter of this road is kept in modest check. I mean, you still feel it through the chassis. It's a Dana 60 solid rear axle. There's only so much you can do. To keep it smooth. And again, the width of the TRX doesn't encourage trail driving like this necessarily, because when the brush comes in from the sides or the low-hanging trees are there, you're going to be scraping. You'd want to take something like a Tacoma out in environments like that. This is also not a crawling truck. It's got those big meaty tires, 13 inches of front wheel travel and 14 inches in the rear, but quite a bit of distance between the front and rear axles, so your breakover angle isn't amazing. And you don't have things like disconnecting sway bars for more wheel articulation. Again, not the intent of the TRX. It's for going fast and being stable. That's what this suspension is designed for. When you do tap into the throttle, in Baja mode. The engine is ready for you. And without the traction control system on, you can slide the back end a bit. Brakes again do a good job while the pedal stays mushier. Okay, it gets a lot more fun as you start to go faster. Ooh, this looks like a good spot to do something like that. Due to the unfortunate alignment of a few factors, one, me power sliding, which isn't unfortunate at all, but what was is that I hit a divot and the wheel unseated itself from the tire, which my tires were not aired down that much. They were at a 30 PSI, so I didn't think that would happen, but it did. And so I had to find the jack, which is in the hidden compartment on the right passenger side seat, lower down the full-size spare. Thank goodness it was a full-size spare. And then I jacked up the truck and it wasn't high enough. So I had to wait for help from two good Samaritans, Jordan and Jason. If you guys are watching, thank you so much. And they helped me with an additional jack that they had to jack up the suspension in addition to the frame, enough that I could pull off the spare and put on, or pull off the unseated tire and put on the spare. So we're back on the road, we're good to go. But yeah, that was an hour later. In that time, I found out that the max AC setting for the Ram TRX isn't that maximum. Not that much AC. Back to fun in this truck. Whee! Yeah, you can jump it. And the TRX has a jump sensing technology, wheel sensors, so it senses the speed of the wheels such that it doesn't, so it knows when the truck is in midair and it won't do damage to the driveline by like over revving it. But we've got to do that jump again and get more air. Are we ready? Not going to carry crazy amount of speed, but it's going to be enough to get flight. Okay, one more time, a little more velocity. Here we go. Woo! It felt so good. It likes being in midair. The TRX likes to fly. I do too. No, really, that felt great. The suspension took it flawlessly. And though we hit the bottoms, we bottomed out and we hit the bump stops, it was so stable and so good. I don't know which I feel like takes jumps better, this or the Raptor. But both of them are very, very capable. Now, I could just be a child all day, but I don't want to go too long with this video. So let's summarize the off-roading while I go into auto mode, which off camera I did find to be a little bit softer at low speeds. The ride quality, I mean, because I think Baja stiffens up the suspension for the hard impacts of jumps. At low speeds, the TRX is still not that happy. You get quite a bit of vibration into the cabin, fairly bouncy, but then as high speeds amount, the suspension settles in. The power feels so good. It's such a thrill, this truck. In the right environment, doing the right things. It's so in its element. You can feel all of the engineering effort to make it this good. If you are in a situation where you do need to crawl, you have the Borg-Warner 2-speed transfer case with a low-range set of gears. There's a rock drive mode. You can lock up that rear axle. But I wouldn't recommend seeking out those environments in the TRX. Off-road, get into the open desert, find some pace, find some whoops, and put a huge smile on your face as you hear that supercharged V8 and you feel the well-sorted Bilstein suspension doing its thing. All right, let's sum up now on our way back into civilization. The 22 Ram TRX starts at $80,600. This one, as tested, is $92,000. And I think it's a pretty nice spec. I don't know if I would choose the bright red, but otherwise, the Level 2 equipment group and the nice features, I think it's worth the $92,000. Fuel economy, did not share that. It's horrendous. 10 in the city, 14 on the highway, and 12 combined. They say I have yet to get anywhere close. I've been averaging 9 miles per gallon, and that's not driving that crazy. That's just mostly normal daily driving. I'm getting 9. So your fuel bill is going to be intense. The only real competitor to the TRX is the F-150 Raptor. That one starts at $71,000, but it only makes 450 horsepower. It gets to 60 in 5.2 seconds, and the fuel economy is a very reasonable, by comparison, 16 combined mpg. If it was just the current Raptor versus the current TRX, things would be heavily weighted in the TRX's favor in terms of performance, but the Raptor R has been teased. We know it's coming, and it will most likely be powered by the Mustang GT500 supercharged V8 that makes 760 horsepower in that application. Who knows, it may make less in the Raptor R, but it's still going to be a force to be reckoned with. It's just conjecture, though, whether that one will be the new king in this high-performance off-road truck segment. So, for the current landscape, the Raptor versus the TRX, I'll say this. I think that the TRX has the nicer interior. I think that the exterior is even more aggressive than the Raptor. Those two things, combined with the extra power, give it a little edge for me, especially as a daily driving truck. If you were just going to spend 90% of your time off-road, the Raptor, I think, is just more sophisticated. The Fox suspension is a next level above the Bilsteins in the TRX, and I think it's just more universally good in off-road environments. And I can't wait to drive that Raptor R to see how it shakes up this space that for now, the TRX is leading. Before I forget, watch my POV night drive in the Ram TRX. You can hear that Harman Kardon 19 speaker sound system, and you can hear some of the tire hum at freeway speeds and see the adaptive cruise control, all that good stuff. Watch that video. I hope you've enjoyed this POV drive review. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to get notified, and I will see you next time.